Oh yeah, it's trash. It's Monday, so that's the bummer. There's always going to be noise as long as we're living here. We almost moved, but it didn't happen.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Well, la-di-da, we are back and ready for action, getting ready for the Space Jam, bros. It is I, lovable baby boy Brank, the number one baller in the season, gonna be that shot caller. I'm here to represent Super BS, a podcast about video games, mostly. And who's on the other evil team, the Gorgons, or whatever your names are? What are you, the leader of the Gorgon? Reveal yourself.
Me, LeBron Josh is what they're calling me these days.
What was the Monstars, not the Gorgons.
It's
that
like
was
the Goon. It was the Goon Squad,
Goon
right? Or the
Squad.
Monster. I said the Monstars. I think they said that in Space Jam 1.
Yeah, I haven't seen the epic known as Academy Award winner Space Jam 2. What is it called? Space Jam 2: A New Beginning?
New Legacy, I think.
Space Jam 2: New Legacy. I have not had the chance to watch the Oscar award-winning film Space Jam 2: New Legacy, but I'm all about the Gorgons and the Commandos, which is what everybody else is all about too. So yeah,
Gorgons,
I love
and the command. Okay, so you didn't actually watch the movie, right?
That is neither to be confirmed nor denied, in worry that the people listening to this will come and kill me if they find out that I didn't watch the number one reviewed film of the year.
So, okay. I tried to watch some of it. I fell asleep.
I tried. You mean you watched the whole thing from beginning to end twice?
Yeah, is exactly what I meant. So I don't know if you like. You neither confirmed nor denied that you saw this movie, but
Yeah.
If you did see it, then you'll know that it's basically a film reel for Warner Brothers. Like, it's not really a Looney Tunes movie. It's basically them like showing off all the stuff they have. Like, there's Game of Thrones characters on the sidelines. There's Pennywise on the sidelines. Like, it's not really.
Yeah.
It's like, let us do whatever we can to make you realize that this Looney Tunes movie is not about the Looney Tunes or basketball, really.
Hell yeah, man. That's called synergy. That's called corporate synergizing. Your kid's going to watch that. They're going to be like, who's that character, Daddy? That's Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones. Now you're going to watch how many? 8 seasons? 8 seasons of Game of Thrones, bro. They got you, bro. They got you.
Would you ever go back and do it? All 8 seasons?
I'll watch all 8 seasons. I don't know, man. I do want to watch the first 4 again. I haven't seen 3 or 4 for a long time. But yeah, those last 4 are so rough. I kind of want to watch the last 2 again one more time because I've only seen them once. But I want to say I saw the first 6 once when it was airing, and then a second time later. And I've seen like the first 2 seasons like 3 times.
So like I had planned on going back and watching it at some point in my life. I don't know if I'm ever going to get around to it, but like I just think about how exhausting the ending of that was, and I just don't know if I want to do it. And even like watching the first couple seasons, like I watched it via like really poor streaming sites, and so like I want to that. Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean that's where it's a game of bones, right? But yeah, no, I'd like to go back, but I don't know if I ever will. It's like how people always go, I want to watch Lost again, and then
and they do it like me.
Exactly.
I will say Lost is not as like, so Lost seasons 1 and 2, phenomenal. Specifically season 1, just incredible. Season 4 is good as well, but season 3 and somewhat season 5, they're a little rough, and then season 6, it's almost like a totally different show at this point. I'm still digging it, but I will say, like, I am ready for it to get to the conclusion because it's nothing like what season 1 or 2 set up at all. It's like a totally different, very spiritual show, actually. It's very unique because it talks a lot about heaven and hell, and it is not Space Jam, though. So I don't know if I care about it enough to watch it.
This is the Da Vinci Code you're talking about, right?
This is the Da Vinci Code, which you see in Space Jam: A New Legacy. There's Tom Hanks's character with his wonderful hair from the Da Vinci Code, and there's also the guy who beats himself. I can never remember that guy's name.
That's Paul Bettany.
Yeah, Paul Bettany. Doesn't he have a name though? Like he has like a name. Like they don't give him a name, but he's like the the whatever.
Zealot. I don't know. Zealot. I don't know what you call it.
I think he's like the zealot or the. Here, I'm gonna find this out.
Do you know? Back when that movie came out, I just remember like Jesse, our buddy Jesse, skipping down the hallway, like pretending to be that guy, like pretending he's like whipping himself in the back. It was probably one of my favorite high school memories.
So his name is Silas. I do not remember that, but his name is Silas in the movie. And he has a different name though. They call him something else because my wife was watching it recently. It's a real bad movie, but it's on like every streaming service.
It's not awful.
It's bad, dude.
It's not as bad as the last one that came out. Inferno was pretty awful, but I thought Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons were okay.
Wait, they made a sequel to Da Vinci Code?
Yeah, there's 3. There's Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and Inferno, and then they're about to adapt the other book that he wrote, The Lost Symbol, into a show for Paramount Plus or Peacock, one of the two.
No way. I don't know. I can't believe that they somehow got away with making 3 of these movies. It is potentially like, I remember seeing it in theaters when we were in high school and being like, man, people care about this? Like, this is probably the dumbest film ever made. Or maybe not that, but it's definitely up in like, it's a fun movie to have some drinks with friends and just mock incessantly because it's very poorly made. Which, gets me to a thing where like, I don't think Ron Howard is a good director. I mean, I know that's like, we're not here to talk about movies and directors, we're talking about video games, but I loved Ron Howard on Happy Days, and I've liked quite a few Ron Howard films, but a lot of Ron Howard's, especially his later output, is stuff I absolutely cannot stand. Like, yeah. I'm not even as big or as anti, what is the Star Wars movie he did that everybody hates?
Solo.
So I don't even hate it as much as most people do. But I still don't think it's good. And I still think, like, that's a big problem is he has a lot of really bad movies, and people seem to just overlook them because he did, what, Apollo 13? And in A Beautiful Mind, which is one of my favorite films. But still.
Beautiful Mind was a great movie.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think there's a lot of not so great things that he has made. Whatever. I mean, everybody has some bad stuff. I mean, but I'm wondering if he's like now becoming like an M. Night Shyamalan territory where it's like, okay, you're going to have to prove yourself before I actually care at all because there's been enough bad. So I don't know if I trust the good.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like I think he's the guy that comes in and cleans things up, like a lot of his movies have been things that he stepped into after someone else has made it, much like Solo. He comes in there and he tries to clean it up. So I think that given the right slate and the right story, I think he could probably do something pretty great, but he just either that or he's far past his prime.
Well, he's sounding a lot like a little dude I like to know called Eiji Aonuma, the director of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD remaster. He came in there and cleaned that game up real good. I actually never played the original. I purchased it, but I was living in China at the time, so I just never got around to playing it when I got home. Did you ever play the original on Wii?
No, so the only Zelda game I played on Wii was Twilight Princess was the first one, right?
Yeah, you mainly played Link's Crossbow Training, right? You actually didn't care about Twilight Princess.
No, I played Twilight Princess, and then when I think like 2 weeks after that, I like sold the Wii to get something on Xbox. I don't remember what it was though.
Man, you only gave your Wii 2 weeks before you were like, I'm over it?
Well, everyone in my family had a Wii. Like, we had 4 consoles in the house. I just never like
4 separate Wiis at your house?
Oh, dude, yeah. Like, my mom wanted a Wii for Christmas. My sister wanted one.
Why do you all need a separate Wii? I don't understand the need for more than one in a household.
I don't know. It just happened. And so I got rid of mine, and I played... if there was something, I think I bought Dead Space Aftermath or Extraction or whatever it's called.
You're talking about the on-rail shooter?
Yeah. So I got that one and I played, on someone else's Wii, but like, I don't know. I didn't really like go. There's not a lot. I wish I would have stuck around on the Wii a little longer, but there wasn't really a lot that I played.
So the first 2 years of it actually aren't that bad. It kind of had like a slow start. It wasn't like wall-to-wall fun stuff coming out every month, but it had WarioWare smooth moves. It came out with Twilight Princess. within, I think the second year, 2007 was when Super Mario Galaxy came out. They had like a bunch of good stuff. It was really 2009 to like 2012 when it just was like nothing was coming out. There was like one title a year. And that was
they had all those indie games coming out, right? That was I remember when I worked at Best Buy, they had that stuff like all over the place.
Well, it wasn't indie games. They had like shovelware companies. They made Eminem's Go Kart Racing and a bunch of other like worst reviewed games ever. But yeah, it was just a weird console because they did have some big titles that have been remade. We've actually talked about in here, like Xenoblade Chronicles. The first one was a Wii game. They had the last Mistwalker game, not Blue Dragon, The Last Story. That was a Wii final game. So there was a lot of stuff at the very, very end there, but I had lost interest after Super Mario Galaxy 2, which I want to say was a 2008 or 2009. Oh, wow. As far as 2010. That's probably the last Wii game I picked up because that console for me had just started like dying hard.
I remember that the Wii was out around the same time. A lot of the good stuff on 360 was starting to pop. Like
2006 was when the Wii launched, and yes, that was the same year as Gears of War.
Those Gears of War. I think Halo 3, Assassin's Creed. Like, there's a lot of good stuff coming out that just I don't know. I just spent my time elsewhere.
Yeah, it was just a bummer for the Wii because it has a bunch of great titles, but because it was so motion control centric, there was a lot of real garbage in there that they kind of forced on you. But the last major Wii title before Galaxy 2, which, I loved, but it was like I kind of stopped playing the Wii and I just came back to play that game, and that game was incredible. Yeah. But the last real big title I remember being like, wow, I am so excited for this was Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Like, I remember going to a GameStop the night it launched and picking it up and taking it back home, and we all played it and unlocked a bunch of characters.
That's still a favorite by a lot of people. A lot of people who talk about the new Super Smash Brothers say that like, oh, it's good, but it's not as good as Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Really, for me, the best Super Smash Brothers is probably Melee. Like, I just had the most fun with that, and it's still considered by pros to be the most fun one. But I liked Brawl, and I love the original. It's the new one, which I actually think is probably the best Smash Brothers game, but I've had the least fun experiences with it. So it's like, I think it's the most well-made. Like, every time I played it, I've been like, oh, it's good, it's fun. And we played it a handful of times with a group of friends, but it doesn't have the magic. I'm not 18 anymore. I can't like play for 4 hours over and over and over again. We're not doing like a 2v2 against AI level 9 or whatever, because we just don't care. It's not like that excitement anymore. But to get back to Skyward Sword HD Remaster, I think that's the name of it. Let me just double check.
Can you fact check us for that, please? I thought it was called.
Well, I have to call Facebook to do that.
Birth by Sleep.
I have to call Facebook to call the government to fact check. Yeah. So I can't actually. I'm not legally allowed to fact check on my own, but I will be an independent fact checker.
Please.
Skyward Sword HD. There's no. I don't even think remasters in it. So yeah, just Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. I played like a little bit over 2 hours, like a little bit over 3 hours now. I'm at the first dungeon. Did you get a chance to dive into it at all, or no?
Yeah, I played like 10 minutes of it, put it down, and then my kids started playing it. So
nice.
It's in one of their Switches, and I just I haven't like gone digging around for it.
Do they play off your save file? Like, do you just lose that progress?
Oh no, they have. I mean, my profile's on all their both of their Switches, just because I've downloaded games for them.
Yeah,
but they have their own save files.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the cool thing about that is if you have your profile and you download the games, then you get to keep it on your main Switch as well, and they get to use it. Yeah, I really dig it, man. I did not play it originally. I guess there was a lot of quality of life stuff because it is a fairly slow start. And while I'm enjoying it, I would have to imagine it would have been a lot better with the motion controls. Yeah. I'm kind of playing it more just a standard controller setup where you're using the right stick to do all the motions for the sword. I find it a little clunky at times. You have to like do a quick flicks to actually make the sword attack. But it's neat in its own right. I am digging it. I do think it's like a pretty well made and fun game.
It looks good. What do you think of the camera system on there?
Well, the camera system blows if you're playing the way I'm playing because you have to hold. I think it's L,
the
left bumper.
the left bumper to get it to flip around. But like,
if you're playing with motion controls, you just use the right stick as normal. That was the thing. So the original Wii didn't have 2 analogs, if you can remember. It was just just like a controller, like a TV remote, if you will, a Wiimote, and the nunchuck. So they actually did not have camera controls at all on the original game. So I cannot even imagine how miserable that must have been to play that. Yeah. So that was a cool thing, finding out like, oh, wow, these people had to deal with some of the biggest crap I've ever seen before in my life. And now it's working well. Yeah, it's cool, man. I dig it. I think the character models besides Zelda and Link are somewhat atrocious. A lot of the townspeople are just way too
bulky
zingy and wacky.
Very bulky looking.
Yeah, there's just something weird about the art style. In some ways, they're memorable, but like characters like Groose, like I don't know if you've seen him yet, but his eyes are just so weird. When you look at them, you're like, oh man, I don't know. This feels like somebody didn't know how to draw and they were able to make him. I don't know if you're able to pull a Groose up for people to see, because that's an important character people should see right now. Can you give me a Groose, please?
How do you spell Groose?
Groose. Give us a Groose. We need to see a Groose.
You want like a full body pic here?
Don't do the one where it's drawn, because that one actually looks good. Do one from the game. You do HD or not. He's one of the ugliest characters I've ever seen. Let's get this ugly beast on the screen. I need to see me some Groose. Give me a Groose. Give me a Groose. Groose. Anyways, I don't know much about Groose. I know he's like the antagonist at the beginning. He is one of the many extremely flawed character designs where like I see him and I'm like, oh, okay, this is why people are the way they are nowadays. Let me sniff up some Groose if that's possible. I'm gonna screen share my Groose soon enough. We can't get that Groose on your screen because I need some Groose. Here, I'm just going to screen share this Groose for you, man. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second to give these people some Groose. Let me find that picture. That is like the ugliest monstrosity I've ever seen in my life. They won't let me do that one.
Okay. Hold on. I think I got. Oh, there it is. Whoops.
Let me see this monster. That's Zelda. She's not that bad looking. It's okay. If we can't get it, that's fine. Okay, here, I got it. I'm sharing it now, my bros. Just so in case you're watching this live, you could see. I want to come on, you stupid thing. You're not gonna let me do this. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. Don't look at my tabs. Don't look at my tabs. You can see him right here. Hopefully you're all seeing this.
There we go.
A monster. He is one of the most monstrous people we've ever seen in our lives. We love you, Groose. Groose sucks. I don't know who designed him, but he is horrible. Yeah. Beyond Groose, though, the game is pretty cool. They have like upgrades and stuff that's not. I mean, I didn't even know they had in this game. So it's like it was new to Zelda in this, but they have that more in like Breath of the Wild with the fairy fountains. So you get like upgrades for your weapons and gear. There's like a lot of interesting things they hadn't done before. Like they have a lot of pouch upgrades, so you can like upgrade how many things you can hold in the game.
Oh, awesome!
And I am generally enjoying it. I'm interested to see if I'll finish it because the game that I'm probably the most excited for comes out tonight. Death's Door. We've spoken about it a couple times on the podcast. It's a Zelda-like, made by the guys who made Titan Souls, which was a really cool indie game from like 2016. Let me see when Titan Souls came out, just so these people don't start killing me. Oh, 2015, man, a while ago. But yeah, Death's Door comes out tonight, so I'm going to probably play that. But this has been good because, I've been doinking around with Ender Lilies and stuff on my Switch, which was fun. But, like, I haven't had a big old meaty title for a while. And I've been liking sinking my teeth into this little one. There are a lot of buttons, though. I don't know if your kids have been playing it, man, but there are so many buttons you need to know to press. Like for every single thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my oldest seems to be getting a hang of it pretty well, so I'm assuming she's getting it. Our other one gave up on it, so I'm assuming it was too hard for her.
There is just, it's wild. Like when you're dropping, you need to like press down on the D-pad. When you're flying through the air in these certain moments, when you're falling from a height, you need to press ZR so you don't hit with damage, so you can open your sailcloth if you're falling off your beast. Like there's several different first-person viewpoints that are all up on the D-pad. Then you hold that, then you use the right stick. Like if you hold ZR, it opens up a menu. If you press ZR, it does something. It just there's a lot, and it's not for an experienced veteran gamer such as myself. It's not like too hard, but it's like it is kind of wild. Like thinking
lot to remember.
Yeah, most Zelda games can be played by kids. This is one where I'm like, I don't think kids would enjoy this at all. There's so much talking. And it's so confusing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm doing. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love the simplicity of Breath of the Wild, and I think that's kind of the bar right now. So I feel like, I'm gonna play this one obviously, but I feel like it's not gonna quite meet my expectations as far as like what I want.
Well, yeah, I think that was a big thing when this was announced. Like, and the reason I picked it up and they did the wise thing is they didn't announce Wind Waker HD, which is the one I would like to go back and play with the quality of life features that they added for the Wii U.
Yeah.
This is the one that is the most contentious. This HD remaster, if you will, is like a lot better because they're just it's not talking at you as much. There's still a lot of that, but it's not nearly as bad from what I understand. Like you could pick up the same item and Fee, your little partner, won't come out and be like, hey, do you know what this is? And it's like, yeah, you just told me a minute ago.
The little hand holding going on there.
Yeah. It's like a listen, hey, listen from whatever that one. What was that fairy's name? The one that followed you around Ocarina of Time.
I don't remember.
Hey, listen. Navi the fairy. Oh
right,
my goodness.
That's right.
Yeah, I love that game, but if they re-release it again, they need to like give you the option to shut that fairy up. There needs to be a shut fairy up. There needs to be a zip up the fairy's mouth, okay? And it cannot speak again. Okay, my bro. I'm sorry I've chatted about the #1 title of this year, Zelda Skyward Sword HD. What have you been playing?
So I got about 10 minutes of Zelda in. Then I got a gaming laptop, and I've been playing me some Cat Cafe Manager. This here is just a trailer, but
are you running Alienware on this? I mean, this looks like it's pretty hard to play on anything under 3080
on my Windows here, but it's strangely addicting, man. This is just a demo that I've been playing, but
you're fast. I saw how fast you in that room.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just a trailer, but like it is strangely satisfying to play. Like the whole point of it is you're running this cafe, you lure cats into your cafe, and those cats in turn like lure different clientele. And from these clientele, you get paid in like resources that let you add on to your cafe. You can get different food. Like for example, like you can certain clientele will pay you in these things, and you can buy a refrigerator. You can start serving beer in your cafe. I want to play the full game. I've bin having fun with this little cat cafe sim. So
it's just like I like how you're doing that. You're luring them in, and then it's the implication. I mean, you're getting them in there. Then it's the implication of what happens.
You're putting them to work. Yeah, it's like a cat sweatshop.
You get those cats in there, just like that. The boat on Always Sunny. Right. You get them on there. Implication.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing that is kind of a pain in this game is that you can't
get dogs.
You can't get dogs, but you can't control like whether or not your cat's going to take a dump on the floor or pee on the floor, and that scares all your clientele out. So it's I don't know. It's like those. Remember when we were kids and like they used to have those like animal toys where they would poop. Like everyone thought that was the coolest thing.
No, I don't remember this at all.
You don't remember this? Yeah, they're. I don't remember what they were called, but they're stuffed animals. It was before Meowchi and Poochie and stuff, but like these animals like pooped, and like it wasn't real poop. It was like a packet of something you put into their like bellies. I don't know.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty horrible. But yeah, that's like, I don't know, not a fan of the poop, Yeah,
I mean, I understand. I wouldn't be a fan of the poop either. This sounds like a nightmare that you create. Maybe you're the only person who owns one of these. It's like somebody physically defecated inside of it to get that real poop smell.
Yeah, physically.
Oh, my bro stuff. Do you have any other titles you've been working on? Because me, I'm just talking about that Skyward Sword all day, every day.
Yeah, no, I've been meaning to play more. I downloaded Age of Empires Definitive Edition now that I have the ability to play it, and
Nice.
haven't played it yet, but been meaning to, just trying to knock out some projects at the end of the summer, So my gaming time's been down slightly this week.
Well, I really want to talk about what's going to be the #1 game of 2021, which was just announced last week. It is called Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. It is coming at you with Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold. There's Zim from Invader Zim. There's Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries. There's SpongeBob and Patrick and Sandy. For some odd reason, there's no Squidward. There's some Ninja Turtles. I mean, this is the #1 game of all time. People are so lucky you're going to get to play this, man. It is just a beautiful, beautiful title. I'm going to get this on the screen real quick so everybody can see just this wonderful title. Let me share this screen, bros. There won't be any audio, so you'll just be listening to us. But, yeah. You can see a powdered toast man. This is like a beautiful thing. Hopefully you can see that with all these ads coming up. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop this just because
So I read some interesting things about this one. They said that they are they're hoping to get this into the competitive space.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that with Nickelodeon's go-kart racing, they're all going to be the competitive games of the year. Dude, if this gets higher than like a 7, I'll be blown away. We know very little about it. I mean, as of right now, I know nothing about it. I don't even know who the developers are. So, yeah, I have no hope in them at all. But I do love that they're trying for nostalgia so hard. Nice.
Yeah, there we go. Toaster Man from, I forget what cartoon he's from, and then Patrick Star.
Yeah, it was one I didn't recognize. Ren and Stimpy.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of properties. Like, they could do Rocco's. They have Reptar from Rugrats. I didn't see, like, Tommy or the rest of the kids. It's just weird because, like, yeah, they got Hey Arnold. Where's Doug? Like, where the F is Doug?
Where's the crew from Rocket Power at? Like,
yeah, that's totally what I was saying.
Skateboards, man.
They got all these other ones like Danny from Danny Phantom. Like, I don't know what that is. Give me Rocket, whatever his name is, from Rock Power.
So, like, this in theory, this sounds fun, but I mean, I feel like Nickelodeon's not going to push the line on like how violent they're allowed to make this. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of gimmicks, and they're not good. I don't even think they're going to go as far as like Smash Brothers does. Like, I think most of the fighting's going to be like someone like this guy shooting syrup, or Patrick like throwing a chocolate bar or something. Like, I don't feel like it's going to be like the premier fighting game that they're hoping it's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no hope for it at all, other than that, like, if it's cheap enough and people think it's fun enough and it has enough of those characters, maybe I'll pick it up. Because, like, the big thing that's a bummer for me, more than, like, is it going to be good or not, because it's probably going to be bad, is it doesn't have all the characters we want, okay? It doesn't have Angry Beavers. Where the F are Angry
Where's
Beavers?
Where's Cat Dog, man?
Where are Cat Dog?
They can't sneak up on Cat Dog. That would be, like, the best character.
Yeah, it would be fun to let you also play co-op. Like, 2 people could control Cat Dog. One person plays cat, one person plays dog. Like a weird character.
One has to be the arms, one has to be the legs.
Dude, that would be. There's so many fun ideas for a game like this, but because it's by Nickelodeon, it's probably not going to be good. Yeah. Anyways, I'm hoping that's going to be Game of the Year. Do we have a release date for it?
No, I don't know actually. Let me look. But while I'm looking, what was fun back in the day was the Rugrats games on the PS1.
Did you ever play their board game? For some odd reason, I played that as a kid and I really enjoyed it. The Rugrats board game.
Oh, it just says 2021.
Okay, board game PS1. There was this game I cannot remember at all anymore, but I played it so much. I want to say it was Rugrats. Let me see if I can give you the actual title. Maybe search for Reptar. Rugrats. Scavenger Hunt. That was it. Rugrats Scavenger Hunt.
Yeah, that's on. I have that on Nintendo 64.
Yep, it was on. It was only on 64. Okay, they had another version of it on PS1 as well. But yeah, it is just so bizarre that they made all these games. And some of them were actually good back in the day because they had like so many developers just doing random stuff. It's like the Disney Aladdin game, right? That was like Capcom. That's a legit game.
Oh, that's such a hard game.
Yeah, but it's a well-made game. It's just like way too difficult for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I wish that licensed games were good, but just really they don't have the budgets and they generally don't get the development teams. And so like you're looking at new teams trying to use Unity to make these things. So we'll see. I can't pass judgment till it's done, but I've already passed judgment to 0 out of 10.
This is last judgment.
That is the last judgment. Sega. This is the one that you were crying about last week. And I'm sorry, man. I really didn't want this to happen, but I don't know what to say. The PvP Resident Evil game RE-Verse is delayed to 2022.
No,
I'm sorry.
way.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry.
What?
Okay? We all wanted it.
Dude.
It was Game of the Year contender.
Come on.
Real quick, did you play the one that came with Resident Evil 3 as a beta, or did you get it? The PvP?
No, I never
PvE
played
game?
I never played a multiplayer Resident Evil game.
It was real bad. It was really bad. So the idea that they decided to do that again was like kind of wild. Like it was not good. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody's gonna be waiting for this. They should just cancel it. I think Everybody Got Village did not buy it for this at all. There probably is one person that will be upset. I'm sure there'll be people try to get refunds just because it'll be like, oh, you didn't give us this thing.
When they make those kind of announcements, everyone thinks it's like for DLC or like a new, remake, and then they say multiplayer, and then everyone's like, oh,
yeah,
oh.
I think people would be way more stoked if it was just like they were getting free DLC for Village. Like just cancel that and give us free DLC for Village. We'd all rather play that.
It's like when you get a card from somebody and you open it up to find there's no gift card or money in there, and you're like, oh, well, I appreciate that.
I appreciate the card. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
Okay. LeBron, Josh. Speaking of consolidation, which we weren't talking about at all in the video game industry, I guess Tencent might buy the Sackboy: A Big Adventure and Sonic
I was reading about that. Yeah. So do you think they'll make new Sackboy properties or new Little Big Planet, or what do you think is going to come of this?
So I don't think they can, because I think that's PlayStation owned rights. So I think PlayStation hires out Sumo Group when they want to do those games, because Sumo has made a couple games for Sony. No, I don't know really what to think about it. I really don't know a ton about the Tencent acquisitions besides Riot and a few of the other bigger ones. And as far as I know from the people involved in that, nothing's really changed. It's kind of like the same as it was before. If they're just offering financial support like Microsoft, I don't really see the negative outside of like maybe somebody was hoping for Sackboy: A Big Adventure 2. You're probably not going to get that. But
isn't Sackboy himself property of PlayStation though?
That's what I'm saying. So you're not going to get a Sackboy: A Big Adventure 2. You're not going to get any Sumo-created games. You might get Snake Pass 2. They made Snake Pass, and that was pretty fun. I don't know if you remember that Switch launch game where you were a snake and you had to use your snake body to go up stuff. It was like one of the hardest games, but I played and beat it.
Can I just point out like what a weird statement that was? Yeah, you're a snake. You got to use your snake body to go up things as opposed to your human body.
You're a snake, okay? You piece of ass. You're a snake and start to go up things.
Yeah. Can we talk about how pointless scorpions are for a minute? Like, they're just like tanks with stingers. I don't understand like why they exist.
I like how you brought up scorpions when I'm talking about snakes because the game Snake Pass rules. Play it. I think it was on Game Pass for a while.
Scorpion Pass, yeah.
Scorpion Pass. So I guess though, if they buy this, the Sumo Group, they also own the Chinese Room, which is Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. I don't know if you ever played that walking sim back in the day. It was okay. It was one of the not as fun as like Gone Home. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. We'll see what happens with this consolidation because it's kind of just ramping up. I feel like all this year it's like this person bought this person bought this year. Like I think we talked about it, but Sony bought a couple companies that were pretty much just working for them. They bought Housemarque, the ones who did what's that game that just came out this year? Returnal.
Yeah,
they bought that, and they haven't like announced it yet, but it's pretty. People are pretty sure that they bought also Blue Point.
Yeah. So you know what's funny about this is every time there's an acquisition that goes down, somebody always goes, "But this is not us competing with the other person." It is. You're just trying to mask the fact that the gaming what do you call it, the console war is back on in a big way.
Yeah, it is. It is strange to see this over consolidation and people try to write it off. It's like, no, they're just doing this. But whatever. I mean, it's going to happen, and a lot of these studios are it's so expensive to make games, and it's so hard to turn a profit that like I'm glad some of these companies are getting picked up because otherwise they would just go out of business, and then the games wouldn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
This is on par with what we talked about earlier this year already 3 times, which were the ongoing delays. Rainbow Six Extraction, a game that I don't think either of us were looking forward to playing.
That's like the Ubisoft All-Stars game, isn't it?
No. Rainbow Six, that's the next thing we're going to chat about in a second. That was just announced today. Rainbow Six Extraction was the PvE Rainbow Six Siege spin-off title. Yeah. And it was supposed to come out last year under the term Quarantine, Rainbow Six Quarantine. They changed the title.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they couldn't use Quarantine because that's in poor taste, right?
Yeah, yes. Now it's called Extraction and coronavirus. They called it Rainbow Six COVID-19 ... quarantine ... stay at home.
The add-on will be Delta variant.
Yeah, there'll be a Delta variant version of that. Everybody will love it. Rainbow Six Extraction is delayed now to 2022, which already has made this super paltry Ubisoft lineup this year, which is like, I think it's just that sports game left coming out this year now, unless there's something else I'm forgetting. So I don't know what Ubisoft even has coming out this year at all. It's kind of wild. I think it's just what is that game called? You know what I'm talking about? It's all of the you bike and do jetpacks.
Steep? Is that
no.
It's like a new Steep game?
It's kind of like that. It is called
Trails.
Not Trials. No. I wish it was because I know Trials 2 years. It's called Riders Republic.
Oh, got it.
So they have now only Riders Republic and Far Cry 6. All of their other games are not coming out this year. Considering that they released one game a month at the end of last year, they released Watch Dogs Legion, Valhalla, and I believe Immortals might even come out the same month. No, one of them came out the same month, though. No. They were all 1 month apart. It was Watch Dogs in the end of October, Valhalla in the middle of November, and Immortals at the beginning of December. So it's like they had 3 large titles, and this year they've got like 1 and a sports title.
A sports title, yeah. Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you think that Sony ever like does so many things that sometimes they get things backwards or maybe like upside down?
Oh, you wanted to bring that up. We didn't even talk about that with our did we discuss the state of play last week? I don't know if we did.
I don't know. I thought we talked about Deathloop, but I don't remember.
I don't remember, but the state of play happened. There was like a new Moss title, which is VR. But yes, this came from it. So I guess somebody had never seen a PS5 before, so they set it upside down.
Can I be honest though? Like, I feel like this is a common I mean, obviously they didn't have like an expert on the set, but like I would, if I had never owned a PS5 or like touched one, I would have done the same exact thing.
Yes, 100%. It is at the wrong place, and you don't want to crush the disk drive. That's why they gave you that stupid stand you're supposed to put it on. It is just so funny.
Yeah,
the PlayStation's gonna have to have like a console expert come and verify the console's placed correctly from now on. Anyway, I love this idea, like, oh, we got this console today, we're just gonna throw it in there. It's hilarious and rad that happened. The state of play happened last week. It wasn't bad. It's not a competition to like the EA or E3 press conferences, but it was like some Deathloop stuff, which we've heard about a lot, and I feel like still nobody knows totally about. Some more stuff about the Death Stranding Director's Cut, which comes out in September. Moss VR game, some weird early access game that's supposed to suck called Arcadegeddon, and I can't remember. There were like 2 other titles, but none of them were like super standouts to me. Anyways, the new game announced today was this is also an Ubisoft title, which might come out this year, and this goes in terms with they had mentioned they were going to do more free-to-play AAA style games.
Mhm.
It's called New Tom Clancy X Defiant, and that is spelled as stupidly as you could imagine: capital X, capital D, then lowercase Defiant. So X Defiant, one word. It's a fast-paced firefights meets punk rock mosh pits. I assume they gave up on whatever that horrible battle royale game they were coming up with, Hyperscape. I assume they gave up with that game from last year because I have not heard about it at all.
This sounds another game. This sounds like a Slipknot concert with guns.
That is what I want. That is what I want. Is Slipknot the gun? If you look at all the character models, they too look like they're like metal, like they're all like wearing like weird masks for no reason, and they got flamethrowers.
Yeah, why not?
It does not look good. I didn't watch the trailer, but the pictures, like the art they decided to put out, is about as bad as any art I could imagine nowadays. Like it's not good. So yeah, we'll see how that comes out. It's free, I guess, so it's free to play. 6v6.
That's the important part.
That's something. It's definitely free. Are you gonna give it a shot or no?
No, I haven't played a Tom Clancy game since what was that? Not Rainbow Six. It was
Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I'm watching videos for X Defiant now, so I can get like more about it. I mean, the gunplay in Rainbow Six Siege is good. I don't know if it's made for like fast-paced shooting, so I'll probably give it like a shot, just because like I don't know, I really did like Siege a little bit. So, but like I just don't see it taking over my Apex time, which is like I only have time for one live service game.
Do you think it's going to be filled with microtransactions?
Oh yeah, it's a free-to-play game.
Okay, well, now I'm going to segue into something else here. Speaking of microtransactions, have you seen this gym here?
Ukraine.
This
I didn't actually bring it up.
Situation. So 3,800 PlayStation 4. So at first, these guys were smart and they buried their operation next to a power plant. So they're like, if I put it right next door, nobody will ever notice that it's going on. But 3,800 PS4s. Originally, this was thought that they were mining crypto, but I was like, how do you mine crypto on a PS4? And it turns out that they were actually all farming FIFA money.
Man, you got to get your what is it called, club cards or whatever. They have some like title for it where they make all their money.
Can we just talk about though for a minute, like the amount of like programming know-how you'd have to like make all of these in sync with each other? Like, yeah, these guys were probably like not the smartest, but
no, I think they were probably plenty smart. It just sounds like they were found out. Yeah. I mean, at some point, if you have that much heat coming from one building, people are probably going to look into it. So it's, all I'll say is like, I don't blame them for doing this because FIFA is considered to have like some of the worst microtransaction support out of like any modern game. That's where they make most of their money. I think you have to buy cards of some sort, and that's how you get characters. So it's just like,
I kind of want to play FIFA. Like, I've never played it before, and I'm just like...
I played it for the Game Pass quest. It's not for me. I don't think it's very fun, to be honest with you. But soccer playing fans would say, it's like the best game ever. Oh, my goodness. It's so beautiful. It's cool looking. I didn't enjoy it. But, yeah, that is funny that you brought that up. I was thinking about talking about that, the Ukraine student. That thing was really, really funny. But here's something that's not as funny. Like, kind of funny in a different way. There's not going to be any skate at EA Play 2021. They really want to get your expectations in check. They've already told us there's going to be no Mass Effect, no Dragon Age, no Star Wars, and now there is no skate. What are they going to be talking about this week then? They literally have only told us what they're not talking about. So
Faye 2.
It's like Battlefield and Apex. And beyond that, like, are they going to spend a lot of time on Madden and FIFA, games that people already know about?
Maybe, but it also wouldn't. Yeah, they're definitely going to talk about their sports games, but it also wouldn't surprise me if they put up a logo for Dead Space. Assuming those rumors are true.
Man, they better do more than a logo for Dead Space if they have nothing coming out. You know what I mean? Like, it is just wild. Like, yeah, I get that you want to have expectations checked and you want to just be like, hey, we're not talking about this. So people are like, why aren't they talking about this? But it is bizarre to think like how many things have already said, like, no, we're not going to talk about this. We're not going to talk about this. We're not going to talk about this. It's like, okay, well, you're going to soon need to tell us what you are going to talk about, because I already am going to go. This was already like the showcase. I was like, this is going to suck. And now it's like, I don't know if I'm going to watch it at all, unless I'm just doing nothing.
I hope it's just like 45 minutes on Madden. That would really get people to love EA.
They were considered the worst company in America for 2 years in a row, which was crazy considering that they don't even do nearly as bad stuff as the people they were against. They just make bad games with not good microtransactions.
Yeah, I think that was the year Mass Effect came out, wasn't it?
Mass Effect 3 and then the year before that, I want to say. I can't remember what that was for.
That's why everybody was so upset.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. On stupid things that happened, that is kind of funny, but this one was for the people, my bros. If you were dying to play Neo The World Ends With You, well, if you were quick to the draw, you could have bought it from Square for $80, $20 more than that cost today, and they were giving their pre-order code was accidentally giving you the full copy of the game. So you would have got a copy of the game when it launched, plus the digital version of it, which is it's usable right now. People are playing the game right now. So I don't know if they're going to be able to go back and get rid of those, or if people just get it early. I played the demo. I think it's interesting. We talked about it privately. I will probably get it at some point. I don't think it's worth $80 to pick that up. That's already a game I'm like, oh, it's on sale. But that is funny that Square Enix just blundered so hard that they gave the digital code out 10 days early to the people who bought the physical.
Was it a blunder, or are they trying to make up for all the PS5 exclusiveness that they're doing?
It would be nice if it wasn't a blunder, because if you ever buy anything from the Square Enix shop, the shipping's like $20. So that's why it's $80.
I know, even like
dumbest thing ever.
I remember trying to get something that was on sale from them. Like they had like a shop sale, and
it's not worth it.
Equaled about as much as it would if I would have just gone to the store to pick it up.
It's never worth buying from them unless you're buying like literally $100 worth of things on sale for 60% plus off, and they're rare items. Then maybe that's the case for it. Speaking of dumb Square Enix ideas, I guess there is talks of them releasing a Final Fantasy X Part 3 story, or 10 Part 3 version or game after Final Fantasy VII Remake, because everybody's just going to be dying for 10 for the conclusion of 10 in the next 20 years or whenever Final Fantasy VII Remake will end.
I would play it. I'm excited. I would love to play it. I just hope that it's not like what that original story was they were talking about. We were chatting up Dr. Donna in the our like little text chat there, and I hope it's not what he thinks it is. Yeah,
I didn't get there was a lot going on, so I didn't get a chance really to check it out totally, but I will say that
Titus gets his leg blown off by kicking a grenade, and him and Yuna are broken up, and she's in danger, so he tries to go to rescue her with one leg. And
is that what they talk about in the story? They have like a story that they already wrote.
The light novel, I think it's called.
Yeah. I would say that unless they're going to remake 10 and 10 Part 2 at this point, don't bother with the 10 Part 3. It's been, let me see, 2000, I want to say it was 2001 or 2002 when Final Fantasy X came out, and we are going to be in probably 2030 by the time we even discuss this, 2001. So don't bother. Like,
what I would do is I would just brand it as a new Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 17, or just a standalone Final Fantasy Return to Spira or something like that. And don't brand it as like 10-3, because people will feel like they have to play the others, but like make it feel like a new experience while still incorporating the old lore that people have come to love.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could do that for sure. There's a whole lot of ways you could do this. I just really think, and speaking of Dr. Donna, I think I am reading their comments on Game Informer right now. Not 100% sure, but I think that's the doctor themselves. Yeah, it's dumb. Like, I just don't do this. Do not do this, Square. If you want to do this, then remake 10 and remake 10-2 and then do this. But at this point, like otherwise rebrand it. Like LeBron Josh just mentioned. Don't do this title 20 or 30 years, more than 30 years probably, after the original, and then be like, hey, you guys all remember 10, right? And 10 Part 2? And it was like 10 Part 2 was already unnecessary.
But so before I would go back to that world, I would want a remake of Final Fantasy VIII more than that one.
Well, yeah, I would love that too, just because I never really got into 8, and I feel like it could use a remake. Out of the games, it was the most confusing and obtuse, and it was just hard to get into because graphically it was like trying to be realistic on the PS1, which was like the worst of all worlds. Yeah, I would love a remake of 6, just because that game's incredible, and I would love to see those characters in full 3D. And 8. I'd love them all to be remade at this point. Like, maybe not Final Fantasy VII remake style. Like, I'm even fine if they keep the old battle system and just give us a fresh coat of paint. I mean, it'd be cool to do a new battle system, but like, this 7 remake has me already being like, you've added so much fluff. Just let me get to the game. Like, we're never going to finish.
They're trying to justify having 4 $60 releases come out. So, I mean, I have a feeling we're going to get a lot more of that as time goes on.
Yeah, of course, but it takes them longer and longer to make them as time goes on as well. So that's what makes it feel worse. You know, it's not like we're getting one of these once a year and you can pick and choose as you want. It's like, oh, once every 3 years you get one, so you normally just get it. And it's like, oh, this isn't really the one I wanted, but this is it for a while, so I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
Speaking of cool things that companies are doing, we talked about the Nintendo OLED situation last week, and we discussed how like Nintendo sometimes just chooses to update their hardware because it's cheaper, and normally Nintendo just keeps it the same price. That's why like there's a better battery life and stuff in the new model of the Switch. Well, this OLED thing, they're saying it only costs $10 more to manufacture, so their actual profit margins are going to be a lot higher. So before everybody goes out there rushing and praising Nintendo, which I haven't seen any of yet, just, I don't want to like people think that people are going out there and saying that OLED is like the savior, but just remember, this is like them just doing it to make some extra cash off of the suckers who are going to buy it. I know I'm not buying it. We'll talk about my big news for the week at the very, very end, but I have something else that I was hoping the Switch was going to be that got announced. Before we get to that, though, there is one really, really, really silly thing, and I'm sorry I didn't give you a chance to talk about the OLED, but I just wanted to throw that out there, and you can talk about more in the Steam Deck. But Netflix is going to reportedly start offering video games. See this?
Yeah, I read about it. I'm trying to figure out how that would work. Like, would it be a separate app? Or would it just be something, and would you be able to use a PS5 or an Xbox controller? I don't know. I know they've hired somebody. I don't remember what their name is, but they are going to be heading that up. And are they going to be developing their own content, or are they going to just be taking, borrowing things from other companies like Sony and Microsoft?
So the guy's name is Mike Verdu. He was the former EA mobile head. My guess is it is going to be a lot of free to play games, a lot of microtransaction things. About the controller support, I'm not sure. I know a lot of people do use Netflix on their consoles. I do, and I know a lot of others do as well. But yeah, if it's a separate price, it's going to have to be really, really enticing for me to do anything extra Netflix. If it's $1 more a month, it's definitely going to be a lot more. I'll do it probably just for the podcast. But Netflix isn't known for their like generosity. They keep upping the price. And, back when I first started with Netflix, I got DVDs as well as streaming for like $8 a month.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they did that.
Yeah. Now I pay $13 a month just for streaming, or maybe even more. It might be $14 now. Yeah. And I don't use it very much. I've thought about canceling it multiple times. I don't have high expectations for this. I think this is a stupid thing. I think this is I'll be the asshole who says it. I think this is a stay in your lane thing where it's like Stadia.
Everyone's trying to break into the gaming market, and it's all going to fail. Like even like Apple Arcade's numbers are not doing so hot these days. That's why Target's giving away like free, memberships to it.
Yeah. I just think we've seen it with Luna. We've seen it with Stadia. We're going to see it with Apple Arcade. It's really hard to compete with the big dogs. Microsoft got in there very wisely in the early 2000s, and even they have struggled to stay in there, Like, they're doing great now, but if you remember, the original Xbox almost came to failure. Like, it was like the 360 is what saved the Microsoft and Xbox brand. I just think, like, if Netflix is going to do it, they better do better than they're probably trying right now, which is they better do more. They need to like really prove why we need to play games on their service.
Yeah.
Because if it's just going to be like Bejeweled or Candy Crush, it's like, dude, we all got phones. Like, we all got phones nowadays. We don't need your service to play these games.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Yeah, I have low expectations for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that they're talking with Sony. I don't know if they've had any chats with Microsoft. So it's possible we'll just get like it'll be another like Games Pass or PS.
Is it going to be streaming though?
But yeah, I don't know. That's
streaming
a good
games.
Question.
I mean,
you can already do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not like bad. I think it's good, but I'm never going to choose that over owning the game natively. It's never going to be my preferred way of playing. Yeah, there's probably going to be somebody who's like, I'll play Red Dead Redemption 2 on Netflix, but it's like, are they going to go out and spend $70 on a controller? Because that's where the real catch is, right? Like the people who don't own the console don't want to spend money, so they're not going to do that.
It's just, it seems like a pointless service. But Netflix has done stranger things,
There we go. That's me beating drums incessantly at that nonstop hilarious joke that we all love.
Yes.
Things that I have crazy high expectations for that were just recently announced that I pre-ordered: the Steam Deck. Valve's Steam Deck. This thing I am so flipping excited for. I've owned a lot of PC games on Steam for a long time, but I don't like sitting at my computer and playing, and I have a Mac. So the only way to play a lot of these games is from Boot Camp. This thing, even though it's running off of Linux, is using this weird like Steam, what's it called, like Proton emulator, not an emulator. It's something that like natively goes through Windows and gets these games to play. So if you're watching this live, you're seeing them play Ni no Kuni, Hades. There's even shows of Disco Elysium, games that are only Windows only. They don't even have the Steam Play logo on them right now, but they're supposed to work with this. There are very few games, pretty much free to play and live games, that don't. Dude, I cannot wait. And the fact that it's supposed to dock and output to TV, like, I am so excited. I have the 256 gigabyte model. I think I got it early enough. It's supposed to come out this year. That was a big thing. A lot of people might not be able to. I have some issues with the layout. I don't love the symmetrical joysticks being up at the top, but I am down to try to learn how to play with that.
Looks awesome. Like, it looks, I don't know, like it to me, like if you're someone who has a Switch to play indie titles, I would stop playing indie titles on the Switch and I would pick one of these up, because this thing, like, this is a really, really cool idea.
Yeah,
and it was from what I understand too, like you can just plug it into your TV and you could play.
Yeah. Not yet. They're gonna have to release a separate dock. But anyway, so the idea, it will happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, are you gonna get one?
I would like to. I just probably not like this year. But yeah, it is something I'm definitely interested in. I don't know if you've had a chance to mosey on over to eBay and see like what some of these pre-orders are currently going for.
No.
Some guy was selling one for like $5,000 the other day. It's absolutely insane, and people will pay for it because everybody wants one of these things.
Well, it is crazy too, because like I pre-ordered the day, it was like a mess. There were a lot of people trying to do it, and what they did was the smart way, where like if you got late to the pre-order, you're just going to get a later model. So I don't remember if I got the December model, but even if I didn't, like, trying to sell this right now on eBay and not even knowing when you're going to be able to buy it, like that's wild to me. But people try to get a buck any way they can. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited. Yeah, like I said, I don't love the joystick placement. It's not going to be perfect for everything. I don't think it's going to be great for shooters, but like you mentioned, like when it comes to indies, I got a 512 gigabyte NVMe, the same type of storage that's in the Xbox Series X and PS5, or roughly the same one.
Right.
And so I'm going to be looking at hopefully lightning fast loading speeds and games that were running so terribly on the Switch. And I contacted a couple buddies. You guys might remember Beat Mesquite. He's procured one, and I have another friend who works for Old Riot, and he got one. And him and I discussed how this was kind of what we were hoping the Switch was going to be. We were hoping it was going to be more powerful, and instead they let us down with the OLED model. And it's like, if you get the baseline Steam Deck, it doesn't have the NVMe, but it's only $400, and it's still leagues faster than the Switch. It's also a full PC. Like it's,
Yeah,
I
well,
know
and
it's
that's what I was
crazy.
gonna say because it's not just for those indie titles. Like you can play
Yeah,
these big games, and there's talk about them eventually adding the ability to move on to play on the Epic Store and play Games
you
Pass. Like there's a lot of stuff. Like they've been chatting with a lot of people, so this could be the next like big handheld. And like I don't think it's going to diminish Switch sales, but I think it
yeah.
could get a lot of people moving from their Switches onto this piece of hardware.
It might do what happened to the Wii for the Switch. Like the Switch right now is the premier portable. You know, everybody's playing
Right.
it, and the Wii and the Wii U end up just being for Nintendo games. And if the Switch
Yeah.
doesn't follow
Mhm.
suit, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the console people own, just so they can play the Nintendo titles when they want to play them.
Yeah.
I'm so excited, man. And yeah, you mentioned you can actually, because it is a PC, you can get rid of the original OS on there and put Windows if you want. You could just play that. I'm not going to do that because my guess is it won't run as smoothly because it was designed a specific way. But I have like a library of at least 100, if not more. I think I have like a couple hundred Steam games that I picked up for like $3 each. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to go in there and like finally like turn some of these games on
Take some time to play them.
I can't even play because I don't have Windows. So like I would buy them when they're on sale, thinking like, oh well, if I ever get a PC, you know, it was $3. So yeah, it's I am very, very, very excited. I cannot wait for this thing. I'm hoping I get a December model, and I'm hoping it's as good as it looks. That's the thing I'm concerned about. If you remember, Steam did try a console before with the Steam Machine. It did very poorly, and they pretty much scrapped it almost instantly. It was like an Alienware PC box you could plug in your TV. It was like $500.
That's right. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
and then they tried a year later, or maybe the same year even, with the Steam Link, which also did very poorly, and you needed that really terrible controller. So, yeah, man. Well, we are running low on time, so we're probably not going to do the topic that we have today. But we do want to let's chat about this. You bring up what you want to talk about, because this is the big news this week out of just the insanity of the problems in the world right now with money, and then it reaching into the line of gaming.
Yeah, so we have, I don't know if you heard, but there's a copy of Super Mario 64 went on sale for, what was the sale? The price is like some crazy million.
$1.5 million is what it's sold at auction for. It is a 9.8 grade A WADA sealed, which pretty much that means like there were no imperfections, nothing wrong with it. That's the highest review it's ever had.
Yeah. Well, okay, so this is, and you know, I know WADA had said that they're like super backed up, and like I'm curious, like, what do you think? How much is like the COVID market to blame for like the skyrocketing prices of retro games?
Man, that's a loaded question. There's a lot of things I think going on, man, and there is a lot of rumor that this might be kind of an inside trying to get things to go up, because
got it. Okay.
So a 9.6 WADA grade for Super Mario 64 at the same auction went for $13,000.
Yeah.
So it does kind of seem weird that a 0.2 higher grade rating.
And that's what a lot of people on other podcasts were speculating, that there was someone trying to boost the price up, because I know someone also I think is at the same Heritage auction site. Someone bought a copy of Elder Scrolls for like $600.
Yeah, it's like you could have picked those up at a Walmart or a Target, really, for like $5. I know there's probably a certain manufacturing version people want. This also, they had just, I think like 2 days before, they sold The Legend of Zelda on Nintendo for $870.
Yeah,
that makes a little bit more sense because it's an older title.
It's far more rare than the other ones are.
Yeah, Mario 64 was a massively, widely produced game. This was supposedly like an early manufacturing run, but still, there's something fishy about these numbers. It's like, I'll just recant this story because it reminds me of what's going on kind of with everything. My wife and I have been trying to move, and we've been looking at places to rent, and we were kind of the last people to see this place recently, and there was 40, 50 other applicants, and every applicant had to pay $40 to apply to rent there. My guess is they knew within the first 10 who they were renting to, but they could get more money if they kept letting people see it and apply. So kind of in that same way,
that
people
is absolutely shady.
Yeah, people are doing that same thing with gaming. So, like, imagine you had 10 sealed copies of Mario 64, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be worth trying to get one copy to go for 1.5 million so that your other ones can go for
Oh,
hundreds
of
of
course.
thousands?
Yeah.
So, like,
Most definitely.
yeah, if you can have a friend do that for you or some way to get it done. Not saying that this is for sure. This is conspiracy theory theorizing at the max peak, but it seems more realistic than somebody just being like, "I want that for 1.5 million." And, that seems crazier to me.
Yeah.
I
agree.
yeah, man, we will see. I will say 9.8 plus an A plus plus rating is wild. But yeah, there is something crazy fishy. And you're right,
But
COVID stuff could be there. I recently
yeah,
worked an event for new millionaires just over
yeah.
the weekend. Like people who got Bitcoin millions, and like there are a lot of people right now who came out of nowhere who now have tons and tons of money because they made the right investments or they did the right this or blah blah blah.
It's all
They
a matter
weren't
of
afraid.
timing, matter of luck, matter of timing. But yeah, I mean, you look at all the people using stimulus money though to buy retro games, and like the value of retro games has gone way up in the past like year.
I think everybody's afraid of like missing out again, like everybody did on
FOMO.
comics and all the other things. Like the idea of like my stupid Pokemon cards. I could be a millionaire today if we didn't sell those when I was a kid. Like
Right.
that idea, right? Like, oh, you could have millions today if you would have just kept this. So there's a mix of that, but I honestly think there's something far more shady going up for this to be 0.2 higher because the other one was also an A plus plus, and it being worth 1 million. Let me see if I can do this math. 1,486,800 more. So it's just mind boggling. That's a 0.2 difference grade. Like if you would have told me this one went for 100,000, I think I could have understood.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1.5 is insane. My bro, I am running on the low out of gas. I'm about to pass out. I'm getting in the next lane. I got to get me some Fast 9 to get rejuvenated. Are you ready to hit the dusty trail?
Yep. And anyone who tuned into the live stream, thanks for checking it out. We'll be back next week.
Hell yeah. Okay, my bro. Peace to your mother.
Peace.